Good afternoon to you. I'm Jan Markwitz. You're listening to God at Work, and my guest today is Vicki Hinze, and she is a writer. She had gone to her doctor for a routine checkup and found out that she could have a life-threatening illness. It caused her to reflect on her life. Then she discovered that the medical report was actually somebody else's, and she was okay. Vicki has shared with us that she then realized God allowed all that to happen to her to get her to make some changes in her life. Vicki, you said that you realized through all this that God was showing you that anything that He gives you to do, you don't have to be afraid, that all you have to do is be obedient, and He will take care of the rest.
And I didn't realize it until that moment. All you really need to serve is a willing heart.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
He will put the people in your path. He'll give you what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the life-defining moment for me.
And you had written for secular books, right? And then you changed from secular to Christian writing. And how was that different for you?
I did. And I had written 20-odd books in secular books. And I was really, at the time all of this happened, I was starting to feel a little discombobulated because trends cycle. And the market was moving toward darker books and more intimately explicit books, and that's just not me.
Right.
It's not me. I don't feel like in that type of book that I would be fulfilling my purpose in writing or my purpose in life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, what am I going to do? I don't fit there anymore. But I had started a blog about my spiritual journey, which is just real simple. I didn't think anybody would read it. Very shortly thereafter, I received an email from an editor at a Christian publisher, and she said, have you ever considered writing fiction for the Christian market? And I emailed her back, and I said, no, but I will.
Good for you.
I thought, duh, why didn't I think of this?
Well, this was the Lord, His timing, huh?
Right, His season. That is exactly it, Jan.
Don't you just love it whenever you don't have to go looking, God brings it to you, and then you know it's Him?
Right, and when He feels you're ready.
Right.
You know, a friend of mine's dad used to say all the time, it takes a lot of heat to temper steel. Well, I think it takes a lot of heat to temper people, too.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to go through a lot of things and grow in a lot of ways before I was ready to do what He wanted me to do.
We are the clay, He is the potter.
Right. And so that was my affirmation that this is the direction I want you to move in.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a proposal and I sent it in. And immediately thereafter, I got an email from a second editor at a second Christian publisher. And she used the exact same verbiage. Have you ever considered writing fiction for the Christian market?
Confirmation.
And I thought, there's my confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so thrilled because I knew this is what I was supposed to do. And the second editor who contacted me, eventually, very short term actually, bought that series, Crossroads Crisis Center, and Forget Me Not is the first book in that series. And it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience for me because now I can write the way I think.
Mm-hmm.
When I wrote in the secular market, I would write the way I think, but then I would have to tone down the spiritual elements.
Right.
I've always written healing books where people are in trouble and they find constructive solutions to them. So, but I would have to tone down the faith element in it. Well, now I don't have to do that. I can write the way I think.
Praise God.
And that is a very exciting thing.
And just talking with you, your faith is really great. I mean, you have true faith in the Lord and you trust Him in all things. I can just tell by talking with you. And, you know, it's just great to see God's hand in your life and see how He brought things about. Many times we try to make things happen, and if that's not the plan that God has for us, we're just beating our head up against the wall, basically, for nothing and making it more difficult on ourselves. Whereas if we allow the Lord to let His plan unfold, it's so much easier and it's better.
Well, and it is. And, you know, He's done things for me in this. There's no way I could have done them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I could have made these things happen. I've spent a lot of years in this business talking to different people and doing, you know, I've always had my benevolence programs and special funds that I do. I've had a thing for doing good for goodness sake. That's kind of been my personal motto. It's something I think we all should do, one of those things.
Sure.
And so I've tried to live it because, words are cheap, but
be doers.
It's actions. And I kind of feel like I had to go through all of that in the secular segment because I still have a foot there. I have a good reader base developed there. A lot of people who follow my books and follow my blogs. And so that's what I meant when I said, you have one foot in the secular world and one in the Christian world. I'm a person of faith, but in a way it's like, Jan, some people, the only exposure that they have to people of faith are ones who are willing to walk outside their faith to come and find them. And so if you walk that bridge, you're still interacting with those people, and you may be the only person that they come across.
That's right.
That has any connection to Christ, and you can tell them whatever. You start preaching to them, they don't hear you. But if they see how you act and how you react and how you're right there to help them if you can, and that has a big impact on people.
Absolutely. Be doers of the word and share the love of Jesus Christ and through your actions, like you said. That speaks a lot more than words do.
I think it does too. And so that is what I finally feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be at the right time, doing the right things for the right reasons.
Good for you.
And that is a gift. That makes me feel that special hug all over again. Am I going to stumble? Yes. I still don't feel holy enough or wise enough to do all of the things that I try to do. But I know now I don't have to be those things. I just have to have a willing heart and to listen to the guidance provided, because the signs are there if we just slow down and notice them.
That's right. And if we read His Word, He speaks to us through His Word as well. And He promises that He will never leave us or forsake us, and that He will complete the work that He has begun in us. And so that makes me comforted to know I don't have to depend just on myself.
Oh, me too. I would absolutely, I would be in that dark tunnel, not even seeing a glimmer of light if I felt like I had to act on my own.
Oh, it's so true of all of us. Well, I thank you so much for being my guest today, Vicki. And I know you have a website where people can go to learn more about you and your writings. What would that be?
I do. The URL is VickiHinze.com, and it's Vicki with an I. VICKIHINZE.com.
Thanks again, Vicki, and the Lord richly bless you and continue to use you.
Thank you. You too, Jan. It's been an absolute pleasure. I've very much enjoyed it.
You've been listening to God at Work on WMPQ The Light 95.9.